evening once again, and welcome back to the Online Darts Live League. I am the Asset Paul Nicholson, your host and commentator for tonight's session in Group B, which will finalise all of the players for the Week 4 finals, which will take place in 24 hours' time, live on Sporty Stuff TV. We have 3 players already there, and 3 from tonight's group will join them over the next 2 to 3 hours. Should be a really interesting group as well. But before we start tonight's action with Daryl Pilgrim up against Rob Collins, let's have a little look at what happened earlier this week. Group A was dominated by Jim McEwen, and he's been part of the Saturday night finals for a good couple of days now. Josh Payne, well, he got second place all on his own by a margin of 6 points over Chris Gilliland. And he is involved tonight with Chris to see if they can both get to the Saturday night finals to join Jim once again. As for Dennant, Stone and Edgar, they went through to Group C, which was really interesting indeed because it went all the way down to the 20th game in the group. And funnily enough, it was Dennant, Stone and Edgar that were fighting it out for 2 spots in that group, which would promote them to the finals. They ended up all on 14 points, but the leg difference came into play, and in the very last game between Gary Stone and Matthew Dennant, it was Dennant that won, and he leapfrogged Matthew Edgar to eliminate him in the very last game. It was one of the most exciting Group Cs that I can remember, but ultimately Edgar goes home, Dennant stays, and Stone gets position number 2. As for last night's action, it was excellent. Some people got off to a bit of a ropey start, and I'm referring to Josh Payne. Dan Reid was pretty consistent throughout the night, but the likes of Collins, Gilliland and Payne struggled at times. But speaking to Josh a little bit earlier on, he was ecstatic with second position after losing his first 2 matches. But Pilgrim at the top on his own on 8 points. A perfect night for him last night, and he doesn't have to do a great deal to book his spot in the Saturday finals this evening. Even if he does not win his first game tonight, he'll still have 3 more matches to gain some points to stay in the top 3, and I get a feeling he is going to do that. So without further ado, let's go down to the Ocky to see our first match of the night, which will be Rob Collins up against Daryl Pilgrim. This is the reverse fixture from yesterday's final match. And Pilgrim from Croydon, the 35-year-old, not wearing his Crystal Palace colours tonight, is the Flying Eagle. I don't know many eagles that don't fly, but okay. But the Man of Steel usually flies quite fast as well. I can see a bit of a pattern in this game.
Okay, first like it's Daryl to throw
But
first.
Rob will be hoping
that
this game does not follow the same pattern as yesterday, because Pilgrim won by 4 legs to 2. It wasn't the best game of the night by any means, but it was a good battle from Pilgrim to get those extra 2 points at the end. And if he wins against Collins again, not only does he put Collins in trouble of not making the top 3, but he will give himself a 6-point gap between himself and the rest of the field.
59.
The last time I was in this commentary chair for a Group B campaign, which was 3 weeks ago, Robert Owen owned this group,
121.
and it was never in doubt. I'm pretty sure that Daryl will be hoping that the same befalls him.
98.
But let's talk about Daryl last night. He was impressive, running average of 91.86. And one of the things that really impressed me is that he was consistent without being spectacular. He did miss a few doubles in some of the matches, but still wound up with an average for the night just under 92. And his doubles were pretty impressive as well, at 39% for the night. A little bit more of that, and he's pretty much assured a spot
44
in the Saturday finals with Dennant, with Stone and McEwen. Double top for the first leg.
94.
He'll return. He's got a very fetching new animation on the back of that black and white shirt.
140. Darryl, you require 20.
Double 10. Nudges the wire.
Game shot on the
Doesn't
first
hand
leg.
Collins a look
Daryl Pilgrim.
at that 52. So 18 darts is enough to take the first leg. And he's got the darts in this match. And he's a very heavy favourite to win this best of 7 contest.
Second leg, it's Rob to throw first.
One of my picks for the night after speaking to the people
99.
in the studio at Sporty Stuff TV tonight was Rob Collins to have the highest checkout in this match. And my reasoning behind that was that maybe he
60.
would need a larger checkout to take legs away from Pilgrim, who more often than not will outscore Rob.
140.
Based on what they've done in Live League before. That is a fact, because Pilgrim has a better running average, better win percentage.
134.
But at 11-8 for Collins to have the highest checkout in this match, and I thought that was quite inviting.
98.
Because usually what you're going to get from Pilgrim is heavy scoring, and he's going to take out a lot of smaller finishes like, say, 76 or 52, or even the 20 from leg number 1.
Robbie Rocker 164.
Biggest finish of the week so far came from the eliminated Matthew Edgar. Took out a 167 earlier today.
64.
And he also got 2 161s as well.
$100. Robbie require 100.
Chance for Collins to draw level. Looking at tops.
Game
tops
shot
he
the
finds.
second leg.
So he
Rob
does have the
Collins.
biggest finish so far, but we're only 2 legs into a best of 7 contest.
So like it's Darryl to throw first.
Just remember, any time that you decide to have a little gamble on one of the outcomes of a match here at the Online Darts Live League, please gamble responsibly.
100.
It's for over 18s only, and begambleaware.org is the website you need for more information on that.
100.
Whatever you are doing this evening, please get in touch with us. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're watching with. Is watching the Live League on a Friday night a bit of an occasion for
100.
you and the family? Or have the kids gone to bed and you're just staying up watching the action, having a bit of much needed solitude? However you're watching, please get in touch and let us
56.
know.
$60.
That's a somewhat unfortunate 60, which takes Pilgrim's average under 90. Collins is putting up a decent fight here.
134.
He's at the foot of the table right now on 2 points and -6 for a leg difference, meaning he's got the most work to do.
180.
Especially now that Pilgrim has found his first max to take himself 150 ahead.
82. Darryl requires 61.
Well, that's 2 off. There's the 21.
41.
He's just missing
Robbie
the outer
Rocker,
ring
129.
a bit too much for his own liking. Collins may well go for 2 double 18s here. I think he should. Decided not to. Decided to go the old school route.
89. Darryl require 20.
And it didn't pay off.
Game shot
But
on the
what
third
does pay
leg.
off
Daryl
is Pilgrim hitting the red segment in double 10 with the red flighted dart. I don't know whether you've noticed, but they're not all red. Some of them are blue.
Well, it's Rob to throw first.
All to do with Crystal Palace, of course. And I'm sure Daryl is very happy that Crystal Palace got a draw at Liverpool on Monday.
180.
Anytime you get a point at Anfield is a pretty good result, but a good result for Collins with his first 3 darts of leg 4.
60.
As for Rob's night last night,
134.
he averaged pretty well for the night, 88.9, but that was the lowest running average of any player, which signifies that last night's group was really, really good.
58.
3 maximums, no ton plus outs, so his 100 checkouts so far tonight is his best of the week. 32% on the checkouts. Probably needs a little bit of work. You can't stay at that level and expect to get through this really big, quality-filled group.
139. Robbie Rockwan, 94.
Best leg yesterday was a 12 darter. He could possibly get another one here, but can't find the treble that he required.
54.
Not that he's under that much pressure. Not yet, anyway.
58. Robbie Rockwan, 40.
Collins is playing well in this game. Might just have to move across to open up this bed.
20.
He'll be devastated that that dart didn't hit a piece of the flight or a piece of the barrel just to cushion it in. In the background there, he shakes his head as if to say, I'm not really sure how it missed.
Robbie Rockwan, 20.
Double 5.
Game shown the
There
fourth.
could have been a big twist
Rob
in this match had he missed that double 5. But because he didn't, it's now 2-2. But Pilgrim was waiting on 96.
Fifth leg, it's Daryl to throw first.
There you can see, decent average from Collins so far. But it's as you were at the start of the game. He still needs to break Daryl Pilgrim. He hasn't done so yet. And Pilgrim will feel good about the fact that he still retains
56.
the advantage of throw in this match. And he's starting with a maximum here in leg number 5.
100.
Still trying to figure out that animation on the back of Daryl's shirt.
140.
It does remind me of something. I know it's modelled on him with the glasses and the beard, but it almost reminds me of a...
93.
In fact, I don't want to say. I haven't quite figured it out. I do like it, though.
62. Daryl Rock 128.
Well, Daryl doesn't have to go for the 18s on this checkout now, and decided not to. That hasn't gone to plan.
28.
I think the biggest bright side I can think of after that visit is that he's now in 2-dart range. That's all I've got.
59. Daryl, you require 100.
That's a better first start.
Game shown
And that is a 100 checkout, which is
Pilgrim.
exactly what Rob Collins took a little bit earlier. This one is now 3-2. And the favourite for this group,
I think it's Rob to throw first.
which is Pilgrim tonight, because yesterday it was Josh Payne. He is on the cusp of 10 points and a very big lead at the top of the table
134.
of 6 points, which is tantamount to 3 victories Might only be a matter of time before he soars up his place in Saturday night.
140.
His second game of the night will be against Dan Reed in match 4. Collins will return in match 3 to play Northern Irishman Chris Gilliland for the second time in 24 hours.
99.
Just a reminder that 3 people
140.
will qualify from this group tonight. The winner of Group B, this group, will be in Group 2.
58.
And they'll have Gary Stone in their group. And they will also have the 3rd placed player from this group in their group tomorrow as well. So whoever
170
comes through this group in 2nd position is going to have Jim McEwen and Matthew Dennant to contend with tomorrow. The winners of Group A and Group C.
100. Now we require 47.
If Pilgrim keeps going this way, he's going to win this group with games to spare. That was a tricky shot.
We require 110.
Stay in the match. You feel this has to be hit. Say
70.
what you wish, but going
Now
for
we
the bullseye on that
32.
shot, I don't think that was the right thing to do.
Game shot on the match.
Pilgrim is just
Daryl
too strong,
Pilgrim.
averaging around, it actually was, dead on 93 against a Collins who did bring some resistance, but that 100 checkout in leg 5 seemed to just give Pilgrim a little bit of confidence, and he goes forward by 4 legs to 2 to get to 10 points, and that 6-point cushion has been established. Josh Payne will come into tonight's action up against Dan Reed. In this game, we hope that Dan Reed will not snap his point once again, and he will complete all 7 legs, potentially, without any sort of malfunctions. But Payne and Reed are definitely in a fight for the 2nd and 3rd position in this group. They will do battle after this. Welcome back, folks. Match number 2 about to hit your screens. And Josh Payne will take on Dan Reed. Yesterday, this was an interesting game to say the least, but it ended up being 4-0 to Josh Payne. Oh, how he would love the same again. 28-year-old from Ashford in Kent. That's where he lives now, originally from Gravesend. But Dan Reed, 27, from Thatcham in Berkshire.
Okay, first leg, it's Josh to throw first. Game on.
Like I said yesterday, this was 4-0 to Payne. And he put in his performance of the week in that 9th game of Thursday night session.
180.
Start as you mean to go on, Josh. 105.47 was the average. The doubles were excellent too.
84.
But I suppose that 9th game yesterday was dominated by a 4 or 5 minute delay where one of Dan Reed's points snapped in half, and it resulted in us having to change the board because the point was stuck in it. And he had to substitute a DARTS as well. Josh came back, finished off the 3rd leg, and he finished off the 4th pretty quickly as well.
140.
But you have to say that Josh started somewhat unfortunately yesterday, losing 4-3 to Pilgrim, and then lost 4-2 to Rob Collins. And you feared the worst for Josh.
Game show.
But you're not fearing the worst for him at the start of this one. That's an 11-darter, equalising his best leg of the week. He may just be in the mood tonight.
Dan to throw first.
And the way he was able to recover after losing those first 2 games just goes to show what this guy's got in his locker. He knows he's 6 points behind Pilgrim now, and the likelihood is he's not going to catch him. He may have to settle for 2nd or 3rd position in his quest for the finals, but
40.
I don't think he'll care as long as he's there.
100.
I secretly believe that Josh would like 2nd position in this table, because that would mean
95.
He would get another crack at Jim McEwen.
59.
That's the person he denied getting the perfect 30 points from Group A. And Matthew Dennett is in that group as well. But if it is to be 3rd position for Josh, he would be in a finals group with the winner of this table, which could be Pilgrim. And the other person in the group would be Gary Stone. But that's just me guessing what's going to happen. It's still a long way to go.
$53. Joshua record 161.
Should go bull.
90.
And gets it.
Requires 76.
Leg 2 is in the balance. Tops for Dan.
36.
And you saw that wire move.
Requires 71.
Ooh, double 10. You saw that wire move.
Game shot on the 2nd leg.
And you saw it move back. Because that miss at tops from Dan Reed has now proved that chances in matches like this are going to be far and few between. Make no mistake. He wants to beat Dan Reed again by 4-0. He wants to have something better than yesterday. A big win for him
100
would bolster his leg difference, which is already better than all of the chasing pack.
140.
But it's all about the points. I just paused there because he had 5 perfect darts.
$100.
Whatever he's doing, it's working. And when you are doing something right, if you know what you're doing right, just keep doing it.
145.
This is an outrageous display.
$140. Josh Buckman, 36.
Double 18. Decides not for 9s.
20. Daniel require 161.
He wouldn't consider that a dart wasted. He just didn't want to find himself on an odd number had he missed double 9. And now that he's coming back,
41.
3 darts at double 8, he will fancy it's going to be 3-0.
Game
And
shot
he was
in the
right.
third leg.
So
Josh
far, so
Payne.
good. That's 42 darts for the first 3 legs. And if he finds another one like that, this will be his best performance of the week again.
Fourth leg, it's Dan to throw first.
Everybody needs a muse. And maybe he's comfortable playing against Dan Reed.
59.
But let me just enlighten you as to what the head-to-head record is like between these two.
100.
It's not that jolly for Josh. They've played 5 times before, and Dan has won 3 of them.
100.
So maybe in his own subliminal mind, he's just looking to equalise that head-to-head record so that I don't talk about it anymore.
140.
2 180s, 4 140 plus scores, 3 ton plus scores, 50% on the doubles.
81.
The average is over 108. And he's taken the darts away from Dan Reed again with ease.
100.
I just wonder if the 17 switch on dart number 3 there was the right thing to do. But he has now got 6 darts
161.
to nil Dan Reed for the 2nd night in succession. It's not often you see somebody beaten 4-0 twice in 2 nights. And it's not as if Dan Reed's played poorly.
82.
This is all about the brilliance of JP. Great setup from Dan.
79.
But it would be very typical of this game if Josh was to clean up. And clean up he does. That is ruthless from Josh Payne. Let's have a look at what the average is. You're not going to believe this. It's exactly the same as last night. 57% on the doubles. It's almost a carbon copy on the doubles as well. He got 67% last night. This time, it's 57%. But that is remarkable that he's had pretty much the same display in 2 consecutive nights against the same opponent. Great start for Josh's night. What are we going to see as Rob Collins comes back for game number 3? He needs a win, otherwise he's going to be cast out. But it's going to be our first look of the night at Chris Gilliland after the break. Welcome back, you darting night owls, and I applaud your commitment. Thank you for sticking with us. Friday night action. If anything is to go by from game number 2, we could be in for a lot of quality. 105 average from Josh Payne in match 2. But over to Chris Gilliland now. He's got 4 matches tonight. This will be his first up against Rob Collins, who's playing his second. Full of colour tonight is Chris, and full of wins, he hopes, because he, like Collins, is on 2 points in the table, still in with a chance of the top 3. But like I said, the 39-year-old from Ballyclare has got 4 games to play. Now Collins only has 3.
Okay, first look, it's Rob to throw first. Game on.
Time is running out for Rob, with 2 points in the table and 8 as a minus in his leg difference. That is now the same as Dan Reid after his second 4-0 loss to Josh Payne in 24 hours. You just sense that maybe Payne and Pilgrim are stretching their legs a bit in that
60.
table. And the remaining 3 players are going to duke it out to see who can steal that last spot.
140.
After a somewhat frustrating, shall we say, Thursday night for Gilly.
140.
He walked away with a great performance against Collins. Beat him 4-0, average in excess of 101. Doubles were decent.
100.
And at least he had something positive to think about when he went to sleep last night, because the previous 3 games were, I would categorise as infuriating. Games he shouldn't have lost.
85. Robbie Rock 100.
Particularly the first one he played against Dan Reid, where we missed 6 match darts in the very last leg. And I think he would admit that the game was pinched from him. He lost to Pilgrim by 4 legs to 2 as well. And he also lost to Josh Payne for the 4th consecutive day.
140. Robbie Rock 196. $47.
Can he break in leg 1
76
to get his 5th consecutive leg against Rob this week? That's a great start.
68.
But not quite a great finish.
Robbie Rock 149.
That is a good finish. And Collins protects his own throw in 17 darts in leg 1. He needs to use the advantage of throw in this match. He can't afford to be losing any more.
Second leg, it's Chris to throw first.
If Payne and Pilgrim are going to occupy the top 2 spots, you have to look at other matches tonight, like Collins versus Reid in match 6.
100.
Reid versus Gilliland in match 9. And this one, of course, to see where the points are going to be won and lost.
100.
I love Group B action. It's actually my favourite group of the week. I like the time slot. I like the playing late. A lot of the players prefer it.
140.
And I like its short nature as well. It's just a bit more cutthroat than Group C and Group A. And we do get quite a lot of late night viewers here on Sporty Stuff TV for Thursday and Friday night.
180.
And there's your first maximum of this match from Gilly.
57.
Could well have won leg 1. This should have been a shot for 2-0. Okay, so 19 off leaves 62. That's 18, which leaves 44. And that leaves
41.
tops.
$98. Chris, you require 40.
He left tops after 12.
Game
And he
shot the
takes the leg in
second leg.
13.
Chris Gilliland.
Quite good, to say the least. I think if he finds more legs like that, he could well be too strong for the man of steel.
They'll get Rob to throw first.
But yesterday, Gilliland had a very similar running average for the night to Rob Collins. 89.62.
95.
5 maximums. And just a shade under 1 in every 3 darts at double hit. He did, however, have the most ton plus checkouts last night. He had 3 of them.
140.
The average is good, but there's a long way to go.
$96.
This is probably the right time of the night to give a few of our fans a shout out. Someone who I met earlier this year, a lad called Craig Smith from Turriff up in Scotland.
85.
At least I do believe he's from Turriff. He's from that area. He's watching from Scotland tonight. Good evening, Craig. It's good evening to Dan King as well. Everybody's tucked in bed and he's watching the live league with his feet up. Nice work, Dan. And also nice work from Gilly. Second maximum. Averaging in a silly range.
105. Because you're going 56.
Not the kind of average that you can usually sustain.
Game shot on the
What a
third
leg that is.
Chris Gilliland.
13 darter in the previous leg. 11 darter there. What's going on with Gilly? As he takes a 2-1 lead and now has that break of throw in the bank. We've also got fans watching from Hamburg in Germany.
95.
I've been to that beautiful city on many occasions with darts. Been there for the World Cup of Darts more than once. And for European tour events. Great city. Mark Marlowe, one of our regular viewers. Really admiring the work of Josh Payne tonight. You're right, Mark. Josh was excellent.
100.
And one of our regular commentators, Henry Deakins, having a bit of a watch tonight from his home. Evening, Henry. We'll see you next week when you're here on Tuesday and Wednesday. And I will be reading out the lineup for next week tomorrow during the finals. I can reveal the names tomorrow, but I am quite excited to talk about Group A for week 5 because it is stacked. And there is a debutant in there that maybe a lot of you darts fans might not know a lot about, but I can tell you that it's a young talent from outside of the UK that really intrigues me. From a part of Europe that really does need to start finding the next level of where their players will be.
83.
That's enough hinting. Let's concentrate on what Gilly's doing right now because he's still got the darts. Even though he hasn't scored as powerfully in this 4th leg as he did in the last couple of legs.
95. $60.
Collins is not finding enough trebles.
109.
His 85 average is not living with Chris's standard so far. And you would fancy this 109 is going to be extinguished in either 3, 4, 5 or 6 darts.
89.
That's the idea of 3 darts out the window.
$57. Chris, you're going 20.
How about 4, 5, or 6? Let's see what's behind door number 5.
No score.
Well, in game show terms, it was a hot spot. This would be a big surprise.
120.
That was a superb chance of breaking back. He may not get another chance.
Game shot
And he
on the
doesn't.
flag. Chris
So
Gilliland.
Gilliland in legs number 2 and 3 was supreme. In leg number 4, he was a little bit fortunate.
Fifth leg, it's Rob to throw first.
I can tell you now that a little over a leg ago, Gilliland was averaging 116.
120.
I did say that those averages are very hard to maintain. And the fact that his stats have come down by 18 points, it's not a criticism. It's just
45.
evidence that holding those averages is so hard. He's wearing a new shirt tonight for an autism charity. Very colourful
90.
and a great cause. I know quite a few people who would like to get one of those shirts. So many people in this sport who collect
140.
people's darts, people's flights, people's shirts. There's a great marketplace for it now.
120.
Everybody should own a really good one-off style dart shirt, shouldn't they? I've got a few good ones. I've still got all of my World Cup shirts when playing for Australia. I've got a really good couple of one-off shirts that nobody else has got, and I wouldn't sell them for any money.
$65.
Funnily enough, somebody asked me very recently, what did I do with the shirt that I wore on my World Championship debut match? Interestingly enough,
60.
I gave it to my best friend from growing up because I thought it would mean a lot to him. And he still has it, and I know he would preserve it.
80.
Just a little gift for my understanding friend. And they're the kind of things that you can do in this sport. Another for double 18 to finish.
120. Robbie
That
required
would have
20.
been some way to wrap up the victory. One chance left.
Game shot on the fifth leg.
Still in there.
Rob Collins.
He's a man of many facial expressions, is Rob Collins. But right there it was, it's in. You were right, Rob. It was
Chris
in.
to throw first. Game on.
Chris will be hoping it's not one of those games where match darts come and go and he walks away with no points. That's happened a bit too often this week.
85. $100.
Both players on 2 points in the table. A Gilly win would get him to 4 alongside Dan Reed, and it would promote him to third position. So in a provisional spot for the finals with 3 matches left. It will be Collins who completes his quarter first when he plays Josh Payne in match number 8. What kind of chance is he going to have
54
for making the top 3 when he plays Josh? At around about 5 past or 10 past 12, the first game that is scheduled for Saturday morning.
57.
Things are going wrong now. Is this now a mental battle for the Northern Irishman, who has been in this position before in this group after dominating at times?
100.
Things are getting a little icky.
$180. Robbie Raquan.
Well, those were a little bit clicky. Not icky. And Gilly's going to get another chance to finish this off.
56.
He's already got the
Richard
best
Raquan,
leg difference
71.
of the three players vying for that third spot. He's 7 legs clear. Double 16 will make it even larger.
55.
But it's more missed
48.
darts. Are we going all the way?
28.
We might not be. And in the case of Chris Gilliland,
16.
we shouldn't be.
No score. Robbie required 20.
I smell trouble.
Game
Because
shown the
that's
6th
5 mismatched
Collins.
darts from the Northern Irishman. We're going all the way, and this reeks of the first game that Chris Gilliland played yesterday.
7th and final leg, it's Rob to throw first.
When he played Dan Reed, he was bossing it. He did everything right.
100.
His doubles were exceptional going into the last leg. He ended up missing 6 darts in a row in the last leg to beat Dan Reed.
85.
And Dan stole the game at the very end. This game is almost identical. But the difference is we're coming into the last leg.
140.
And Gilly's already missed 5 match darts. So that mental scarring is something he's taking into the one-leg shootout. And he's doing it against the darts.
84.
He's in real trouble now.
140.
When it was 3 legs to 1, if you'd have said to me that Collins was going to win this match, I wouldn't have believed you.
121.
Just flat out, I wouldn't have believed you. And he hasn't got it done yet. But what a position he's in to get it done.
81.
And this could potentially revive Collins' chance to make the top 3.
100.
It would now put
40.
Gilliland bottom.
Game
things
shot
have
on the
changed.
match.
Rob Collins'
Collins.
best leg of the match. 14 darts. You can see that he averaged just a shade under 87. Gilliland's average in the end came down by about 27 points in the last few legs. But the checkered percentage, 21%, it reflects a bit of a slide in those last few legs as well. That mental battle was won by Collins in the end. So he's on 4 points. Gilliland stays on 2. When we come back, it's going to be Pilgrim once again up against Dan Reed, who has a great chance of being in the top 3 by the end of the night. Game number 4 will be a battle of the Ds, and Daryl Pilgrim is looking to solidify his spot at the top of the table. Another win here, and he's pretty much solidified his Saturday night invitation to the finals. But Dan Reed has got a win on his mind as well. 12 points for Daryl after this. He'll be safe. But Dan is anything but safe. Collins has found his way to 3rd position in the table, thanks to that unlikely win against Chris Gilliland from 3-1 down. But this is the nature of best of 7 leg darts.
Yeah, it feels like it's Dan to throw first. Game on.
Will we get more from Pilgrim? Or will we get a first win of the night from Reed? Pilgrim hasn't been beaten yet.
95.
Can somebody take him out? And when I was talking to the Sporty Stuff TV studio yesterday, I was
67.
given a very good question by the presenter who asked me, Josh Payne is the favourite for this group, but who is the person who could endanger him being favourite? And I said, without a doubt, Daryl Pilgrim, because he has this great confidence in getting to Saturday night.
140.
But so far, he hasn't really got the job done on a Saturday night. Maybe week 4 at stage 1 is going to be his week. And just to remind you all that only one person come tomorrow night, whoever wins tomorrow night, will come back to Champions Week in the middle of October to join Rob Owen, to join Chaz Barstow and Graham Hall from last week. He was outstanding. That Champions Week in October is going to be an event.
190.
Trust me. Misses out on the first leg on the ball, and Pilgrim could make him pay. That was the wise shot.
57.
Just missed that double 19 to leave tops. Double 5 with a flight in the way.
15. Now we require 40.
And you don't fancy Pilgrim's going to miss again.
And
he doesn't miss. He takes it with the third dart. Not his best leg of the night by any means, but 18 darts he will take. And that breaks the throw immediately against Reed.
Second leg, it's Daryl to throw first. Game on.
After this, Pilgrim has games against Gilliland and Reed. Oh, no, he's playing Reed right now. I'm reading my sheet wrong. I do beg your pardon. He finishes up against Josh Payne in the last match of the night. And I fancy the way things are going right now,
60.
that those guys might already be qualified by the time they play. That's just my little prediction.
180.
Particularly Pilgrim. I expect him to already have a tick against his name come game number 10 of the night.
134.
And I do expect him to win this group. No pressure, Daryl. It's not intentional. It's just because you're in such a comfortable position in the table. You are 4 points ahead.
$100.
Seems to me like Dan is throwing the darts with a little less ferocity than usual. They're coming out of his hand quite light.
32.
That's a bit of a weird one for Daryl. That's not like him. That one's a better shot.
137.
Superb that time. That game yesterday was 4-1 to Pilgrim, and he averaged 96.
128.
Dan in defeat,
Dan, you've
almost
70.
92. Can he find tops?
50.
I didn't know if that was in or not.
Darryl, you require
But
40.
Owen Binks told us it wasn't. Deja vu.
Games on the
Different.
second leg.
Different
Daryl
result.
Pilgrim.
He didn't get the double five this time, so it wasn't deja vu. But what it is 2-0 to Daryl Pilgrim in a quest of 4 legs.
So look, it's Dan to throw first.
Things are looking down for Dan. He hasn't won a leg tonight yet.
180.
Here's the weird thing. He averaged 90 against Josh Payne. He's averaging 96 here. And he still hasn't won a leg tonight.
140.
Imagine how that feels. Welcome to the world of world-class darts.
60.
Where you're averaging over 93 for the night. And still not winning any legs.
58.
That's how good this group is. Keep your questions coming in on social media. We have plenty of time to answer them. We'll be here for at least another couple of hours, with 6 more matches after this. And if you're into keeping score for the night, every game so far has gone with the darts.
70.
Whether that's good news for Dan or not, I'm not really sure, but he's 2-0 down already.
81.
That's the bad news.
$54. And you require 89.
Surely he's going to get his first leg of the night now. Has to go for the ball.
59.
You can't leave someone like Pilgrim on a 156
56.
without having a shot at the bull yourself. You don't lay up. This is why.
100. And you require 30.
I've seen lots of shots at double 15 this week, with mixed fortunes.
Game shot on the third.
That's as good as it gets.
Dan
and
Reed.
Finally, Dan Reed gets his first leg of the night, but that is only the start of the campaign that he needs to mount against his opponent.
Look, it's Daryl to throw first.
Because that was a hold of throw. Pilgrim still holds a break in the bank.
100.
Jim McEwen's been in touch on social media. He's not with us tonight, but during the day, he was hanging out in the practice room just sizing up his competition for tomorrow, I'm sure. He was saying to us that it was really good to hang out. He was asking some very good questions in the production area, asking about some of the software that we use for some of the scoring and the spotting. It's always nice to have dart players interested in things that go on behind the scenes. And you know who else was like that? My late friend Kyle Anderson. He was fascinated by the spotting software, the camera work, the commentary, all of the things that go on behind the scenes. Nearly a year since we lost him, and
95.
we miss him terribly.
167. $93. And you require 105.
Now, where's he going to go on the 105? Lots of people these days like the 25 and bull.
45.
I suppose you would call it the fashionable
74.
route right now. But we know where Pilgrim's going.
54.
He hasn't had much joy on tops, has he?
Requires 60.
In this game. Hasn't hit it once.
$50.
Oh, Dan is left frustrated.
Daryl, you require 20.
Pilgrim using up lives here. What a guide.
15.
He's definitely not on his A game tonight.
Dan, you require 10.
Double 5 is getting a lot of attention this evening.
Game shot.
And there's only one reason for that.
Dan Reed.
It's that people are missing tops and tens. Do you think Dan cares? No, because he's finally got his throwback. He's now possibly the favourite for the match.
Shifley gets Dan to throw first. $40.
You would classify this as an under par performance from both players, but I say that because yesterday the entire group of players in Group B averaged 91.54 for the night. That's one of the highest accumulative averages I've seen in quite some time.
95.
Doubles were around about what we expect from a Group B campaign for the night, 35%.
134.
In fact, every player was in the 30s with their checkered percentage last night. Nobody having one of those spectacular nights like we saw, or spectacular days from Jim McEwen the other day, who for his first 4 matches on Wednesday was 67%. Absolutely mesmeric from the Scotsman. There is a third 180 from Dan Reed.
70.
You sense that Pilgrim may be on the cusp of a first defeat in this group. Is he stumbling? His top's going to be hit finally.
Game shot on the 5th.
Hallelujah! Somebody's found tops.
Reed.
And it is the man who's got the darts in this match. And if Pilgrim wants to stay undefeated in this group, he has to win the last 2 legs of this contest.
Shifley gets Daryl to throw first. $85.
Our good friend Brian Rahman, the former WDF World #1, has also been in touch tonight, talking about our friend Kyle. I can't believe it's a year since we lost him. I'll never forget that morning, in fact, that I found out. It was my good friend Dan Dawson called me when I was arriving here for a Group A commentary morning.
140.
And when Dan called me, he informed me that Kyle had passed away, and that was one of the most difficult days of my career, having to talk about games of darts when a good friend had passed.
73.
But one of the nicest things I've seen this season is that the PDC have had some trophies made at the World Series in honour of Kyle and his heritage. And I know that Michael Van Gerwen cherishes that Queensland Darts Masters trophy with the Aboriginal symbols on it. A beautiful touch from the PDC.
42. Daniel McCall, 130.
6 darts from here for Dan Reed to finish Pilgrim off and to show the others the way.
105.
And Pilgrim wouldn't be safe yet, but he'd still be super close.
121.
Frustrating game for him. Reed has been brilliant. He finishes the game off, averaging
Dan Reed.
just a shade under 95. There you see, 94.98. The checkouts were good enough, but Pilgrim seemed to hit the wall when he was 2-1 up. He just couldn't find anything else. And Reed has done himself a lot of favours by getting to 6 points in that 4th game of the night. We're going to see more of Josh Payne next, And he's up against Chris Gilliland, who is licking his wounds after losing in match 3. A game he shouldn't have lost. Don't go far. We'll be back with match 5 after this. We've just seen Dan Reed take out Daryl Pilgrim and inflict his first defeat on the man in number 1 position in the table. So, what's going to happen next with the second placed person, Josh Payne? If you look at where the Ginger Ninja is in the table now, things are looking pretty bleak. Josh Payne in second position looking good because his leg difference currently states He's 13 ahead of Dan Reed.
Okay,
But it's
first
about
leg, it's
points
Chris to throw
first.
Game on.
If he beats Gilliland for the 5th day in a row, he'll be only 2 points behind Daryl Pilgrim at the top.
85.
And Gilly would be in all sorts of trouble. He'd be 4 points behind the person in third
59.
with only 2 matches left. His only saving grace as it stands right now is that his leg difference is better than that of Collins and of Reed.
81.
At no other point this week has he needed a win more than right now.
59.
If he does lose to Josh again, he will have to beat Daryl Pilgrim and he will have to beat Dan Reed.
140.
It's that simple. Otherwise, he's not going to make the top 3. I
99.
sneakily suspect that Josh Payne's target for tonight is 10 points. 3 wins from 4 matches. And I reckon he'll be safe.
89.
Make no mistake as well. Dan Reed and Gilliland want Josh to beat Rob Collins in match 8. They want to keep him at bay on 4 points. Great second dart.
90.
This is a slow start compared to what we saw from Josh in his first game. Didn't put a foot wrong.
140. Christopher Coyne 16.
But it's Gilly's throw. Almost wasn't his leg.
Game shot in the first.
Nearly hit the double 16.
Chris Gilliland.
It just goes to show how fortune favours the resilient, because it wasn't double 16 and then it was double 8 to win the first leg.
It's Josh to throw first. $93.
One thing we're guaranteed for tomorrow is that the only 2 players who could take part
180
in the whole finals night that have won on a Saturday night before are Payne and McEwen. Nobody else,
100.
apart from Dan Reed, of course, could possibly make Saturday night and scupper that statistic. Dan Reed won a Saturday night earlier in the year.
60.
But if Reed was to fall outside of the top 3, it would only be Payne and McEwen. Matthew Dennant has not won on a Saturday night yet. Neither has Gary Stone.
92.
Neither has Pilgrim. After a couple of near misses. But what we are seeing this year is a constant stream of heavyweight dart players at the Live League always making the final stages. And I am talking about Robert Owen. I'm talking about Barstow. I'm talking about Payne and McEwen.
130.
And we can add Graham Hall to that
Which
mix
is
now as well,
81.
because he's becoming a lot of people's favourite for the Champions Week. Already. Only 4 weeks in. Can't fix it this time. And Payne
82.
should get his first start at a double in the match. It'll be at the bull. I'll correct that. He's hit the treble, so it's double 12.
Game shot on the second leg. Josh Payne.
I don't think Chris Gilliland has remembered his rabbit's foot tonight, because every single time he misses, it seems like his opponent always seems to find something.
So look, it's Chris to throw first.
If If he didn't have bad luck, he wouldn't have any luck at all.
26.
But singles darts is like jousting. If you miss, your opponent is going to hit you. I had a very rare weekend off very recently, and I went to a beautiful place called Hever Castle, which was a place formerly owned by John Jacob Astor, who tragically died on the Titanic. He was one of the richest men who lived in the United Kingdom at the time. And that castle has been around for about 600 years. And it housed Anne Boleyn, one of Henry VIII's former wives. And the reason I bring that up is because when I was there, I saw some jousting. It was very exciting. Couldn't possibly think of a more English thing to do than to go to a castle and see some jousting. Maybe drink some English breakfast tea with your little finger sticking out. That's about as English as it gets.
180. Judge Rick 126.
Well, 4 maximums in this match, and we're only 3 legs in, pretty much. Bullseye.
85. Christian Rick 110.
Can Gilly get the lead back? All is not lost yet. But it is now. 44. And that treble 4 was a magnet at that visit.
41.
Tops for a break.
21.
Chances are being
66.
missed. Payne has missed 3 darts at double in the match, averaging just shy of 96. But that's not missed. That's a great rescue shot from Gilliland, who is scraping and clawing his way to getting legs. But what he must do is get 4 of them in the same match.
4 flag, it's Josh to throw first.
Group C went to the very last game earlier on today.
100.
It was ridiculously exciting. With 2 games to go, Matthew Edgar needed to win 1 of those final 2 games to guarantee his spot
64.
In the finals. He had led that group for over a full day.
97.
Consequently, he lost his last 2 matches. And when the final game towed the hockey, Gary Stone was safe for the finals already. But when he played Dennant, he was looking for 10 perfect points to finish the daily table at the top without a loss. But when he was defeated by Dennant, Dennant went from 3rd to 1st, and Edgar went to 3rd and didn't qualify.
96.
I just wonder if we're going to get something like that tonight in the fight for 3rd and possibly 2nd spot. Pilgrim is still looking pretty safe on 10 points. And at the conclusion of this match, we will have reached the halfway point for Friday night. He might look at double 18s here. Does he think the double-double is prudent? He didn't think so. And I kind of agree. You only really go for the double-double when your opponent's on something smaller than this. Double 19.
99.
Give it a good go.
Joshua required 40.
But he's missed 5 darts at double in this match already. Tens again. And this time he finds double 10. You can see the little bit of frustration that he has got there. Just going to double check. It's actually 5 misses at double for Josh now. The doubles percentages, the hits and the attempts are exactly the same. 2 hits from 7, 28.57%. The success rate on the outer ring. As we enter a best of 3 scenario.
$140. $60.
If Chris does go on to lose this one, 2 things will happen. He will enter a knockout scenario.
140.
His next game against Pilgrim will be effectively a knockout match. And on the flip side, Payne will be very close to qualifying.
180.
Believe it or not, that is Gilly's 4th 180 in this match. To Josh's 1.
105. Chris, you've got 164.
His biggest finish last night was 120.
100. Josh, you've got 116.
Payne's was 124. This has not worked out the way he planned.
48.
And no big trouble.
Requires 64.
Gives Chris a look at the bottom left corner. He will stay there until he needs tops.
Game on the 5th leg.
And I swear,
Gilliland.
if you were to draw a little circle next to the spot in tops that he hit the last time, it was right there.
5th leg, it's Josh to throw first. Game on.
Great shot. These guys are playing their 5th game against each other because they were both part of Group A, of course. Josh has won 4-3 3 times. All of those games were in Group A. And yesterday it was 4-2. And he is indeed protecting his 100% record against Gilly this week. The last thing he needs is to go into the second half of matches tonight looking over his shoulder. But if Gilliland does win this match, Josh will be looking over his shoulder a lot.
140.
Because you'll see Dan Reed on 6 points. You'll see Gilliland on 4. And Collins on 4. Only 1 win behind.
180.
And you can see from that little pursing of the lips and that little show of aggression that he does not want to be looking over his shoulder the next time he comes to the hockey to play Rob Collins in Game 8. What we've done in this game already,
57.
in 5 and a bit legs, is equalise the most 180s in a match this week. 6. The match might be over, though.
116.
Consider that
64.
to be the first match dart missed. To keep it alive.
Game on the 6th
They
leg.
don't come much prettier than that.
Payne.
And that wasn't too far away from that little puncture wound that Gilliland forced in that tops as well.
7th
in the previous couple of legs.
To throw first. Game
so
on.
for the 4th time this week, these two are going the distance.
$180.
It's now the most proficient 180 performance in any match this week.
60.
And this is the 90th game of the week.
Hey, tier 1. Hey, tier 4.
Josh is holding on with everything he's got. But you sense that Gilliland is going to get another shot for the match. Most 180s in any match in the live league in the last couple of years. 9. A match that involved Josh Payne against Andy Jenkins, where Josh got 7 180s. We've also seen Aaron Monk and Askew, who got 9 as well, in that ridiculous game in Stage 1 last year. That was where Askew got that massive 118 average.
Hey, T2.
I meant to say Phase 1, not Stage 1, by the way. The only thing left for Payne is to leave a finish and hope that Gilliland has another
57.
shocker at the end of a match.
Christopher going 58.
But Josh has had a shocker there, leaving 166.
Game shot on the match.
And Chris wins that
Gilliland.
one. His first win against Josh all week long. He's worked really hard for it. And that was a great performance. 98.62. I wasn't really looking at the averages. I was too engrossed in that game. But that means that Group B is going to be very interesting in the second half tonight. I hope you've got yourself a cuppa ready for around the midnight hour, because you do not want to leave this. We have no idea who's going to join Daryl Pilgrim in the finals from this group. We will find out, though, when the second half starts after this. a super interesting evening so far because we've had 5 matches and all 5 players in this group have all won 1 game. So the daily table doesn't really need any explaining, but the overall table might. The bottom 2 currently not in a position to qualify, but after 6 games played by all players, Gilliland and Collins only 1 win behind Dan Reed and Josh Payne, with Pilgrim the only one in a comfortable position.
Rob to throw first. Game on.
Can Rob Collins find a second win of the night, or will that befall his opponent?
100.
If Payne and Reed score a win in their next matches,
100.
That's bad news for Pilgrim. It's not bad news for Pilgrim, it's bad news for Gilliland. It's bad news for Collins as well.
99.
Because guess who Josh Payne plays next? You guessed it, Rob Collins. I know where I'd rather be sitting.
93.
And that's on 6 points instead of 4. But I am really interested to see what happens next.
98.
This night has threatened to see 3 players separate themselves from the bottom 2, but it just hasn't worked out that way.
100.
And every now and again you get a night that delivers. And like I said, every single player in the group has won tonight. And I keep this little tally right next to my commentary position of the daily standings and the overall standings. And I just have a column of 2s
81.
next to every player, signifying 1 win each and 1 loss each.
41. 59. Rob, you require 40.
Double top. Halves the score.
Game
and takes
shot
out double 10.
leg. Rob Collins.
18 darts to start this one off. And there's another pattern as well from the first 5 matches. Every game has been won with the darts.
Second leg, it stands to throw first.
4-2, 4-0. A couple of 4-3s in there and another 4-2. But every game won by the person
45.
who throws first in the match. Just going to show how close this group is.
38.
I bet you Daryl Pilgrim's thinking, I'm glad I got 8 points last night.
100.
With 2 matches left, he's safe. He's qualified.
100.
He just doesn't know which position he's going to be in. Even if he loses heavily a couple of times, he's still going to have 10 points. And that's all Payne and Reed can do.
136.
Gilliland and Collins can't even get to 10 points. Which group will Pilgrim go into for tomorrow night?
60.
Can you imagine if he finishes second and he goes in with Jim McEwen and Matt Dennett? What a group that could be.
60.
I wouldn't be surprised at this stage of the night to see some scratchy darts. Some mid-70s to low 80s stuff, because when these guys
99.
saw
Dan, you require
the table at the halfway point, they'll have thought, okay, there's a lot on the line now. Everybody can still qualify.
100.
I think late night drama is guaranteed.
82.
Daniel requires 60.
Tops for 1-1.
Game shot on the second leg.
Doesn't come much better than that. And as soon as he hits that double top, he races to the dartboard to retrieve. He'll just be glad that he didn't snap his point when retrieving that one.
Third leg, it's
that's what happened last night in his last game with Josh Payne. Don't you just love a little bit of technology where you can,
85.
most of the time, remove a point from a dart and replace it quite quickly. But luckily for Dan, I do believe he switched to a different dart, one of his spares in his case, promoting the fact that all young players, and all players for that matter, watching this, you've always got to have a spare set.
180.
If you find a set of darts that you like to throw with, get a spare set that are exactly the same.
100.
We've had our first maximum from Collins. Last night I pitched the question to our audience.
81.
Why don't you get in touch and let me know your favourite sporting Collins? Have you got any unusual ones? I talked last night about John Collins of Celtic and
91.
former Scotland international,
Robbie
fabulous
required
footballer.
155.
And the Irish boxer Steve Collins. Can you name any more?
$85.
Off the top of my head, didn't John Collins play for Aston Villa as well? I may be wrong. First 170 of the week.
145.
That's the closest attempt we've had because he moved the bull wire.
Robbie requires 70.
Double top this time for Rob.
35.
Drags it low and left.
Dan, you require 25.
What a chance for Dan.
Game shot.
In she goes for a 2-1 lead, and a little micro celebration there from the man from Berkshire. He's got that break now, and he's in the ascendancy in this 6th game of the night.
Fourth leg, it's Dan to throw first. $22.
I've had a really interesting tweet from our friend Brian Roman. Players that I would like to see at the Live League. I love it when people do this.
97.
I'm going to list them, but I'm not going to say whether they're scheduled to play or not, because that would be letting the cat out of the bag. I hate that saying, by the way. Who puts cats in bags? Anyway, Brian has said Luke Littler.
140.
Well, we have to wait a while for Luke because you've got to be 18 to play in the Live League, and he is nowhere near that. So you're going to have to wait at least a couple of years for that.
100.
Lucas Wenig of Germany, good shout. Andreas Toft Jorgensen of Denmark, another good shout. Sebastian Białecki of Poland. Bo Greaves.
100.
Some guy named Paul Nicholson. And Arne de Gris, a player from Belgium that I've not even heard of. Well, if Brian Roman is
58.
pitching for this person,
164.
I'm on board. I guarantee you none of them have got your hairstyle though, Brian. Borderline unbeatable,
96.
in my opinion, in darts. Such a shame we can't have you back, because you've
55.
just gone and got yourself a tour card, haven't you?
68.
Too good for us now. Double four.
Game shot on the fourth leg. Rob Collins.
Breaking straight back. Well, if you're going to create a darts mini-series, I suppose, you could call it Breaking Back.
Fifth leg, it's Rob to throw first.
Get it?
Game
Breaking. It doesn't matter. It's late. You're probably sick of my jokes already. I know I am.
140.
Well, this is a very tight game.
85.
It's about as tight as Aaron Monk's polo shirts. And believe me, that's pretty tight. You've never seen sleeves under so much pressure.
100.
But these players are feeling the pressure. And responding really well.
95.
Collins has had this uncanny knack in the past of stealing last spots
81.
in these kinds of groups. He hasn't done it in a while. He was better in 2021 in the Live League than this year.
100.
Cast your mind back to Phase 6. That's Saturday night. Guess who beat him?
100.
It was our good friend Brian Rahman. But since then, Collins hasn't done a great deal.
60. Rob, you require 80.
Maybe he's due. But we're
40.
also due
Dan, you
a
require
very large finish.
161.
And this would be a monstrous game changer.
$65. Rob, you require 40.
Double top. Tens.
30.
What a chance for Reed.
Dan, you require 96.
He should not be getting a look at this. And he knows it. I did say it was going to get scrappy.
76. Rob, you require 10. Game
But
shot on
that's
the
in
fifth
for a
leg.
3-2 lead,
Rob
and Collins is starting to pull faces, which means he's about to turn into a monster, which we've seen before.
Sixth leg, it's Dan to throw first. $60.
Can you imagine a scenario where Collins wins this match and Gilliland wins the next match? That would have us with 4 players on 6 points with 3 matches to go. Okay, break out the Live League abacus. I think we're going to need it.
$89.
Do you know what? I think I might get one of those made. Black and yellow, of course. Not just because of the fact it is the Live League colours, but the colours of my favourite football team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. But that would be a cool thing to get made. To stick on the commentary desk. The commentator's abacus. Nights like tonight comes in pretty handy. Like difference for these two.
60.
Isn't very different at all. -6 for Reed, -7 for Collins. One thing we do know, because they're playing each other right now,
100.
it
Dan, you
can't
require 141.
get to the stage where it's the same. Treble 19. And because of that miss,
93.
Collins will look at 91
Rob,
to
you
win the match
require
4-2.
91.
And it could be big in the scheme of leg difference if he can
51.
win this
Dan,
match
you
4-2.
require
But it does
48.
depend on what Dan does now. To cling on.
Game shot
Well,
on the sixth leg.
That's the
Dan
epitome
Reed.
of clinging on, because that was not a central double 10. It was just good enough to take us all the way.
Seventh and final leg. It's Rob to throw first. $68.
We've had a tweet from one of our regular viewers. Carl Redden's been in touch, talking about
140.
sports people with the surname Collins. And he's talked about Danielle Collins, Australian Open runner-up this year. Very gritty player with oodles of talent.
100.
Now, are you talking about the Australian Open darts, or is that the Australian Open tennis? I feel like I should know that.
96.
We have a new viewer as well.
137.
Someone called Ben Witz has been in touch. Been watching the live league for a couple of months. Glad you're enjoying it, Ben. He's daring me to go off on a tangent talking about
79.
80s and 90s wrestling. Now's not the time, Ben. Now is the time for someone to kick on and win this match. This is a huge leg of darts.
36.
And the only upside of that is that it leaves a finish.
$60. Rob,
And
you
the only
require
upside to that one
160.
is that it's easier than 160. Can Reed pinch it
100.
to snap
Dan,
a
you
streak
require
of
126.
5 matches won with the throw? He's going to have to rely
54.
on Collins missing
Rob, you require 60.
to get himself in the mix on 6 points. He needs to line up this tops.
Game, shot, and the match.
And he stares
Rob
a hole
Collins.
through that board. I told you he was a beast. It wasn't a classic game by any means. It was just good enough from Rob Collins. 40% on the checkouts. 68 was his best checkout of that match. But a vital 2 points, which puts him on the same amount of points now as Dan Reed. Will we get another person on 6 points? That's the question now, because Chris Gilliland, who's got 4 right now, if he wins his next match, he will join that party. Find out after the break if he can do it. I don't know about you, but this table tonight is making my head spin. And we've got 4 matches to go, so I wonder what's going to happen next. Over to you, Daryl Pilgrim. What can you do against Chris Gilliland? Look at this. He's currently at the bottom of the table, but if he wins this match, he will go to 3rd. And remember, top 3 qualify. The only person who's got any level of comfort is Pilgrim, who knows he's already safe. And winning this one wouldn't be catastrophic just yet for Gilliland, but to make things a darn sight easier for himself ahead of
First
a game
leg,
with
it's
Dan
Chris to
Reed
throw first.
in
Game
match
on.
9, a win would be very welcomed. He probably knows in his own mind that if he's going to qualify, he has to beat Daryl Pilgrim and Dan Reed.
55.
He was under immense pressure to get through to Group B, through Group A,
58.
in the top 3, and he clung on to that 3rd position really well in the end. Can he cling on to make a 2nd Saturday night appearance this
100.
year? Last Saturday night was rather remarkable. You saw the likes of Danny Van Tripe, Ryan Finesse,
43.
Scott Williams, and Jan Van Veen all not qualifying because of the brilliance of Graham Hall. The sheer consistency of that guy last week has got everybody talking.
66.
But Gilly is, of course, from Northern Ireland, and Northern Ireland, yesterday now, because it's past midnight, I want to send
77.
a lot of congratulations the way of Josh Rock, who has been playing in Hildesheim, Germany over the last 24 hours and won not 1, but 2 Development Tour titles to put himself back at the
100.
top of the Development Tour standings. What a player that young man is. Just to give you an indication of how good he is. In the first tournament
96.
that he played yesterday, he won the final with an average of 112. He may well be one of the future stars that we've been searching for.
50.
And the person he overtook at the top of that order of merit, someone who played in the Live League in 2020, Keane Barry.
140. Chris should require 130.
Over to you, Chris. What can you do with 130?
$65.
Gets half
Daryl,
of
you
it.
require 87.
Double 18.
69.
He's definitely not playing at the same level tonight
Chris
that he
should
was
require
last night.
65.
Tops. These are key shots.
55.
You
Daryl,
can
you
tell how
require
important they
18.
are by looking at the reaction of the player when they're missed.
Game shot on the first
That's
leg.
not missed.
Daryl Pilgrim.
It's a somewhat unusual leg of darts, though. 21 darts thrown for a break of throw, and Pilgrim is in charge.
Second leg, it's Daryl to throw first.
Daryl's last effort on a Saturday was 5th position in week 2
59.
of Phase 4. That was a night won by Conan Whitehead. Josh Payne came 2nd. Matthew Dennett was 4th. And Pilgrim didn't even get out of his group that night. I was
100.
commentating on that week. It was a real roller coaster. It was a great night for Conan. He'd only just come back from a self-imposed break from the game.
100.
We still have that streak as well. 6 games have gone with the darts tonight. 3 games have gone the
58.
distance. Chris will be hoping that that trend continues once again.
100.
And that hopefully he breaks that streak in match 9. Because the ideal scenario for Chris right now is to win this game,
90.
Josh Payne to beat Rob Collins next, and then he wins match 9. If he does that, he'll be in the top 3 because he's got the best leg difference of the 3 in the chasing pack. I say 3.
55.
Josh
Daryl,
Payne's
you
not
require
safe
160.
on 6 points and +6. He is definitely looking over his shoulder. And he hasn't got an easy run in either. He's got to play Daryl Pilgrim in the last match of the
100.
night. He might have to get
Chris, you
something from
require
that game just to qualify.
146.
Stay there if you dare.
82. Daryl, you require
Pilgrim
60.
missed 4 darts in the first leg. Can he be a bit more clinical?
50.
The answer is no. And he just hasn't been tonight.
Chris, you require 64.
That's a good single in the end.
24.
It wasn't an easy one to hit. And the double tops
Daryl,
that
you
were sailing in
require 10.
earlier are starting to miss on the wrong side of the wire.
Game shot on the
As
second
Pilgrim
leg.
doubles the lead.
Daryl Pilgrim.
Not a good contest this. 40 darts for the first 2 legs. You can tell that there's tension out there.
Third leg, it's Chris to throw first. $58.
Name your simile. Is the wind out of
27.
the sails? Is the jam out of the donut? It's a very hard game to play, in fact, when the adrenaline is lost.
100.
It's a very important part of the game. But what we can't ignore is that Pilgrim is not hitting doubles
77.
with the regularity as he was having last night. First game, won with a 93 average, 33%. It's acceptable.
60.
You might think I'm being harsh there, but we judge Pilgrim by very high standards. Lost with 22% on doubles in that game against Dan Reed
99.
in match number 4. He knows that 22% is not going to get it done most of the time. But last night it was just more regular. 33%,
60.
57%, 33% again, and then 40%. It was just a bit more polished. He did beat Chris yesterday by 4 legs to 2.
180.
And there's no celebration on that maximum because he feels there's nothing to celebrate about when you're only averaging 79.
100. Daryl, you require 180.
If Chris does lose this match, he's going to need help. Help from Josh Payne.
82. Chris, you require 123.
$54 required. 54 not got.
55.
Does he
Daryl, you
believe he can
require
still get through this
36.
group? I assure you, Chris, you can.
Game shot on the third
But you may
leg.
need to get some
Daryl
legs on the board
Pilgrim.
just for that leg difference count. That's what's probably going to come into play if you lose this game.
Fourth leg, it's Daryl to throw first.
Let's say that a hold of throw is coming in leg 4.
60.
Gilliland's leg difference would plummet to -5, and he would be 1 leg ahead of Rob Collins and 2 ahead of Dan Reed.
140.
Even if he was just to get 1 more leg, it could make all the difference. But regardless of what happens from here,
96.
he desperately wants Josh Payne to beat Rob Collins next. And then things will be in his hands in game 9.
100. 123.
The averages have been in the 70s throughout the whole game. It hasn't been a good one. It's been a really edgy affair.
57.
But Pilgrim will relax if he can get through this leg unscathed. He will win the
85.
group. And nobody could do anything about it, not even Josh Payne, if he wins his final 2 matches.
60.
One of them against Daryl.
Daryl, you require 137.
And he'd know exactly where he's playing tomorrow night, which would be at the head of Group 2.
87.
He'd
Chris,
be in
you
the same
require
group as Gary Stone.
144.
And he is going to get a look at the 50
128.
to put Gilly away in match number 7.
Daryl, you require 50.
Double 16.
Game
Job
shot,
done.
and the
Daryl
match.
Pilgrim
Daryl
wins
Pilgrim.
Group B by some distance. And with a game to spare, Gilliland now needs help from Josh Payne in the next match. If Josh can beat Rob Collins in the next match, it means that Chris Gilliland will have everything in his hands in match 9. But as you can see, the averages weren't great, and Chris only got 3 shots at a double. So maybe, without me being too harsh, he only has himself to blame for that defeat. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, it is Collins against Payne in match number 8. Crunch time for these two guys, isn't it? Josh Payne's got 2 games left to solidify his place in either second or third position in the table. But Rob Collins, 1 game left. This is all he's got. He's in third position for now, but there's no guarantee he'll be in third by the end of the night. Reed and Gilliland will play each other next, and they will know exactly what they need to do. But as far as Payne is concerned,
First leg, it's Josh
in
to throw
second,
first.
he's not
Game
comfortable.
on.
But what he does know is that if he wins this match,
60.
he will be safe with a game to spare. In beating Collins, he will deny him the chance of getting to 8 points.
81.
And only Dan Reed could make 8 points as well. But Payne's leg difference is so superior that he would be safe. For his own nerves,
100.
ahead of a match with Daryl Pilgrim in match 10, I think Josh would just like to get it sewn up here in match number 8.
58.
But Pilgrim, on his perch at the top of the table, where he has sat since game number 1 yesterday after beating Josh Payne,
60.
is relieved in the knowledge that he's going to be in Group 2 tomorrow with Gary Stone. Only 2 places left.
139.
Bit of an up and down night for Josh. Started fabulously, beating
97.
one of his chasing pack rivals by 4-0, averaging 105.47, equalising his best average of the week, best of the group,
85.
and best of the week in total. It's all well and good having the best performance of the week, but it means
60.
exactly nothing
Rob, you require
if you don't
138.
have a chance on Saturday. Double 9.
120. Josh,
What a
you
great
require
effort that was from Rob.
124.
Make sure you get a shot at the bull here. Don't go fiddling around with the 42.
99.
Narrowly
Rob, you
missed.
require
Narrowly
80.
missed. That's a fortunate miss. Double 2. That could have easily hit the double 14 and bust the score.
16.
But he's missed it.
Josh, you require 25.
Double 4 is the choice.
17.
Just needed one more shot, didn't he?
Rob, you require
He was inching
2.
closer.
Game shot on the first
Madhouse
leg. Rob
for the man who
Collins.
sometimes looks very mad, but he won't be feeling very mad right now because he is in front against Josh Payne early.
Second leg, it's Rob to throw first.
That streak of games won with the darts has been broken in some fashion as well. 4-0 for Pilgrim was against the darts.
54. $41.
Believe it or not, there is a scenario where Collins does qualify on 8 points, but only
97.
if he wins this game. At no point has he felt the amount of comfort
140.
that Payne and Pilgrim have had at the top of the table. He's always been looking up. But what did I say a little bit earlier on tonight about his propensity
100.
to just squeak in to the Saturday night action. He may just do it again. But that's bad news for him.
180.
As soon as he starts finding those 180s, Payne tends to find a cluster of them.
140.
And we're talking about a player who won the last phase. Phase 4, before the Champion of Champions week, it was won by Josh Payne. And he came 4th in that Champion of Champions.
100. Rob, you require 110.
This is enormous. Double top.
Game shot on the second leg.
Look how good
Rob
that
Collins.
is. 34 darts for the first 2 legs, and Rob Collins is in dreamland right now. Halfway to 4 legs.
Third leg, it's Josh to throw first. Game on.
Josh gave it a full Undertaker eye rolling when that 110 went in. 88.41 is the equivalent of a 17 dart leg.
97.
Hence, 2 wins, 34 darts. Josh lost
56.
to Rob Collins yesterday by 4 legs to 2. The last thing he needs is that to happen again.
80. $100.
There's also a scenario that Rob Collins could finish second in this group. If he beats Payne by a tight margin, he will go to 8 points
100.
and eliminate Chris Gilliland. If the game is tight. But then, if Gilliland was to beat Dan Reed, Josh Payne would qualify on 6 points before he plays Daryl Pilgrim. This is such a strange set of circumstances. It always makes me laugh in every November when the Grand Slam of Darts is on and people are trying to work out the different permutations. Try working here. Try figuring out a Group B situation like this. This is way more complicated.
$60.
For his first leg of the contest,
40.
on throw.
Game shot on the
That's
third
more
leg.
like it.
Josh Payne.
It wouldn't be the first time this week that he's gone 2-0 down and hit the Jets after that. That's exactly what he needs. Lots of doubles, lots of chances, and lots of accuracy.
Fourth leg, it's Rob to throw first.
I don't think Josh would mind me saying this, but with the exception of maybe 3 or 4 performances this week, we haven't seen the Josh Payne from earlier in the year.
140.
His games against Dan Reed the last couple of nights have been awesome. There's been some good stuff during the week in Group A as well.
100.
But it has been a little bit more scrappy. And Collins has got his first max now. And he's got company. This game's turning into a juicy affair.
$97.
What can Josh leave to pressurise what Rob has done? This is a great leg from the Hampshire Ace.
$83.
Oh, that's a slip.
Rob, you require 84.
Even a single 17 would have left it on 84 as well. Does it matter?
$72.
Let's find out.
Josh, you require 98.
Double 19.
Game shot
As
on the
Rob
full
Collins
flag. Josh
looks on
Payne.
in despair as a brace of legs is taken by the maximum. Look at the despair in the background. He knew that double 19 was going to be pinned.
Fifth leg, it's Josh to throw first.
Now the worst that Josh's leg difference can be is +4 only if he was to lose the next two legs.
135.
But he's not thinking about that. He's thinking, I've got the momentum. I want to win this match to get to 8 points.
60.
And that's exactly what Chris Gilliland needs. If Josh doesn't win
97.
this game, Chris is out. I can picture Daryl Pilgrim in the
81.
practice room now saying, look at you guys stressing it out. I'm comfortable up here. I'm already making plans for Saturday.
86.
Someone's going to be getting their BFH. The old bullseye bus fare home.
$54.
Payne's in charge. He's throwing these darts just a little bit harder now. And it's paying off.
133.
It's
84.
getting to the stage
Josh
where Rob
required
Collins is looking
50.
over the cliff. He may be seeing the abyss.
18.
He's not behind yet. He hasn't been behind in this match at all.
121. Josh require 32.
He might be going behind now.
Game
He
shot on
is
the fifth
behind
leg.
now.
Josh
And
Payne.
Payne's done a phenomenal job from 2-0 down to take the lead after 5. He needs only one more and he will be very close to safety.
Sixth leg, it's Rob to throw first.
It will be safety. I've just double checked it. I didn't want to hang my hat on it. But it's one more leg for Payne. And Saturday night beckons again. His Saturday record this year.
134.
Really good. 2 weekly wins. A stage, or a phase win. And a 4th place in Champion of Champions. That's a really good hit rate.
43. $59.
Is it just a matter of time before Rob Collins leaves us? He's got this tenacious reputation in the southern counties. A man who's very hard to beat. He's part of a
100.
very, very tough school of players in Hampshire. But he's in trouble.
57. $100.
It's a good ton in the end. Payne's got 6 from here, but it's a very difficult 6-dart conversion. And he can't take it in
57.
6. So Collins, very much alive still.
$66.
Well, look on the bright side. You've already taken a 110 in this match. This game is all about replication. Just replicate what you did earlier, Rob. Take us all the way.
58.
We've
Rob, you
had
require 110.
3 7-leg games tonight. Are we about to get our 4th?
90.
Not just yet.
Josh, you require 136.
This is a big ask. Too big an ask to win against
96.
Rob Collins by 4 legs to 2,
Rob,
which
you
was
require
what
20.
Rob did to Josh yesterday. It's got to go.
No score.
And it doesn't go. That might be the end
Josh, you require 40.
for the Man of Steel. Is Josh Payne the kryptonite to Rob Collins?
Game, shots, and the match.
It is red
Josh
kryptonite,
Payne.
and Rob Collins is gone. A valiant effort, but Josh Payne is safe. It now just means that the next couple of matches are to find out who the third person is to qualify. We've got Pilgrim, we've got Payne. Will it be Gilliland, or will it be Dan Reed? We'll find out when Game 9 starts after the break. A little earlier tonight, I said that we may need the Live League abacus. This is what we're doing with that. Throw it away. We don't need it because this is a shootout between Gilliland and Reed to see who joins Payne and Pilgrim in the Saturday finals. Gilliland is at the bottom of the table, but he could jump Collins and Reed to take that last spot. And all he's got to do is win. That's it. It's not about leg difference. It's not about a certain score. All he's got to do is win. Same scenario for Dan. He wins. He gets third place. Josh Payne has now sought up second position.
First. Game on.
So get a load of this. Because of that win for Josh Payne, Group 1 tomorrow,
180.
You're going to have Jim McEwen, Josh Payne, and Matthew Dennant in the same group. That is remarkable.
100.
The favourite for the week, arguably. The dominant force of Group A and the winner of Group C.
44.
Wow. That's my Saturday night, mate. Then you've got Pilgrim, you've got Gary Stone, and the winner of this game in the other group.
85.
Really interesting as well that this game yesterday in Game 2 was where all of the troubles in this group started for Chris Gilliland. He was playing fabulously well. And this is the match where he missed 6-match darts against Reed, who pinched it
30.
right at the death.
$100.
Back in Phase 2, Week 1, it was Dan Reed who announced himself to Live League,
135.
beating James
Daniel
Richardson
Require,
in a Saturday
84.
final and losing to Robert Owen in the Champions Week final.
59.
Doesn't quite announce
Christian
himself in
Require,
leg 1 here.
151. $57. Daniel Require, 25.
He's been going 5-10 all night.
$15.
And it hasn't been working very
Christian
well.
Require, 94.
Well, that's a 3, so 91 left with 2. Oh, I thought he hit a 3. It was a 19.
61.
I do beg your pardon. 19
Daniel
left
Require,
75.
10.
So 25 and bull was the effort. Dan is definitely going for double 5. What a bouncer.
Game shot on the first leg. Damn
Well,
Reed.
in Chris Gilliland's last visit, I didn't quite get it right, but I redeemed myself, as did Dan in leg 1 on double 5 there.
Second leg, it's Chris to throw first.
1 down, 3 to go.
$85.
I still can't get my mind off that Group 1 tomorrow.
60.
That is possibly the best Group 1 I've seen in the last 18 months. I think the phrase, pick the bones out of that one comes to mind.
123.
It's that good, I don't think there's any bones in it. It's like a middle fillet
59.
steak. Perfectly marbled. Melt in the mouth kind of darts. Beautiful stuff. Can't wait.
125.
I hate to say it, but I've got a very deep feeling that this one's going all the
60.
way to a last leg shootout. I'm sure everybody tuning in at this late hour would love to see that.
140.
If you're feeling nervous watching this, just imagine what these players are feeling like.
95. Chris, you require 28.
Double 14.
Game shot on the
Lovely
second
jubbly.
leg. Chris
13
Gilliland.
darter will give him a lot of confidence going into the next leg. But if you look at that green arrow, that means that Reed's got the darts. Gilliland has to find a break at some point.
Third leg, it's Dan to throw first. Game on.
So let's add up how many people we've got from Group A going into the finals so far. McEwen
55.
played in Group A. Payne, Group A. Dennant, Group A. Gary Stone, Group A. If Gilliland wins this
100.
match, that will make 5, which is exactly what happened last week. Are we starting to
60.
see a trend where the players in Group A are having a huge advantage over the players coming in on Thursday? Pilgrim is the
60.
only player who was not involved in Group A who is currently in the finals.
$100.
Gilly should sense an opportunity here. Dan's only averaging 70 after a couple of legs.
100.
You couldn't ask for much more, especially when you're averaging 92.
$95.
There will be a point in this game where things will turn. Someone will do something very clever, or a big mistake will be made.
180.
That was very clever. But that hasn't been his problem.
96.
In this group,
Christian requires
his issue has
61.
been missing vital doubles. Double 8.
$53.
2 more doubles missed,
Dan, you require
meaning
95.
3 in the match. Double top.
55.
I just sense that Dan is
Christian
losing his
require
line
8.
on some of those doubles. That was way right of target,
Game shot on
and
the
that's
third
in the
leg.
target.
Chris Gilliland.
What did I say at the end of the last leg? He needed to get a break of throw, didn't he? It's like he was listening to me, because he's just got it.
Fourth leg, it's Chris to throw first. Game on.
And if I'd done what he's just done, I would say 2 words to myself right now. Foot down.
140.
Get after it. Don't stop. Say something to yourself in this mode that is positive
100.
and it keeps your spirit up. I'm sure a lot of these amateur dart players have not gone through
85.
much in the way of mental training. But if you've got good words in your mind, positive words,
92.
they can have a really profound effect. Just look at Neil Duff, Scott Mitchell, Glenn Durrant. Classified
100.
as amateur players. And then when they started to massage their mental game, they turned into world champions. Need we say any more?
99.
Just to tease you a little bit, I actually have the list of all of the players for next week. But I'm not going to read them, because that's the only power I can wield.
100.
Don't worry, I'll tell you a little bit later today. It's worth waiting for, trust me.
57. Chris requires 76.
Chris doesn't want to wait. He wants a 3-1 lead and he wants it now. Tops.
Game shot on the 4th leg. Chris Gilliland.
Well, it wasn't in the middle, but it was in. And he's had so many near misses this week, he'll be thankful it just hit the red bit.
5th leg, it's Dan to throw first.
No good news for Dan Reid, I'm afraid.
41.
The average is 20 points behind his opponent. He's 2 legs down and starting his own throw with only 41. And his opponent has already overtaken him with 1 dart. The news is grim.
140.
If Gilly wins this leg, he'll finish the table
60.
on 6 points. And the leg difference
45.
of -2. That leg difference is coming so handy to him. He's been at the bottom of the table a lot, but he's always had that little cushion of that leg difference.
83.
This whole table, this whole campaign in Group B can be categorised in 2 matches for Dan Reid. Losing to Josh
62.
Payne twice by 4 legs to 0, resulting in -8 in leg difference. That's why he's in this quandary.
140.
He could have been involved in a match with Gilliland right now where he could maybe have to only win 1 leg or 2 legs and he would have been safe. But because of those 2 drubbings to Josh Payne, he's forced to win this game instead of just winning legs.
140.
He only just got into this group
119.
via Group A.
Chris should require 114.
He could make the finals with this shot. He's missed the single, meaning he doesn't get a match dart.
75.
And he missed another single as well.
58.
Does Reid give him a look?
48.
Nothing is clicked.
Chris should require 39.
And Dan may be out the door in a matter of seconds. That single isn't missed.
23.
But the double is missed twice.
Dan,
Where
you
have we
require
said that
10.
before?
Game shot on the
Double
5th
5.
leg. Dan Reid.
Yet again comes to the rescue of Dan Reid, who was clinging on like Sylvester Stallone in that movie Cliffhanger.
6th leg, it's Chris to
Fingernail
throw
stuff.
first. Game on.
I don't know how much tension I can take, honestly. You guys know how to put a commentator through the ringer.
45.
But the person going through the ringer more than anybody else is definitely the man in that charity shirt.
140.
6 missed match darts against Reid yesterday. He's already missed 2 here. Surely it's not going to happen again.
28.
Things are falling apart. That's not good.
100.
That's better. And remember, this is on the Gilliland throw.
100.
That horrendous start with the first 6 darts could open up a door for Reed
100.
to find a way through.
$43.
It reminds me of one of the oldest sayings.
161.
You've got to be in it to win it. And it doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you're there.
55.
The lead is 179, so you don't need me to tell you what he needs.
96. Dan, you require 106.
It's looking like a one-leg shootout to see who qualifies. Double 18.
88.
What does Reed do in
100.
this scenario?
Dan, you require 80.
Gilliland is waiting on a 2-darter. Straight for it. 2 guides.
No
Oh,
score.
how's that missed? Cruelty on
Chris,
double
you
9.
require 89.
Chris has had 2 match darts at double 16. He needs a treble to get another. And Reed
81.
revisits. Double
Dan,
9.
you require 18.
Same marker.
No score.
It's happened again.
Chris, you require 8.
Maybe Gilly's luck has turned. That's an awful lie. He has to go to the right. I don't know if he can see this double 4. I honestly don't think he can see it.
Four.
That was a fine try.
Dan, you require 18.
But it is 5 missed darts for the match to qualify for Saturday night. Can Reed find the double that Gilly missed?
Game shot on the 6th there.
How ironic.
Dan Reed.
How much tension can we take? It's not about the averages. It's not about the percentages now. It's all about one leg to see who comes through this group.
7th and final leg. It's Dan to throw first.
What has Gilly got left in the tank?
120.
Is there anything else that can happen in this game? Possibly 60 on the floor there for Thatcham's finest. Oh, fair play, Chris. That's a great visit. Superb darts from both players. I tip my hat.
60.
There have been a few fixtures this week
60.
that have followed a pattern. Gilly versus Payne, 3 days in a row. It was 4-3.
100.
Stone against Dennant. They had a couple of belters. Both went all the way. This is all about whether Chris can get another shot for the match.
44.
In total, against Dan Reed, in the last couple of nights, he's missed 11 match darts. And you sense he may not get any more. A 162 would be very welcomed.
128. Dan, you require 82.
17 for tops to qualify.
Game,
And it
shot,
only takes
and the
him
match.
one
Dan
match
Reed.
start. He's done it again to Gilliland. It's a carbon copy of what we saw on Friday night in game number 2. He needed one match start. Unfortunately, Gilliland needed more than 5. Forget about those. It was all about the tension of the game, and Dan Reed somehow has qualified in 3rd position, and he will go into Group 2 alongside Daryl Pilgrim on Saturday night. We've got one more match to go, and it's between the 2 people who have already qualified. Josh Payne and Daryl Pilgrim will do battle in Game 10 after this. Welcome back to the final match of our Group B session, and breathe. The tension of match 9. Wow. It was almost too much for all of us. Commiserations to Chris Gilliland, who misses out only just, but Dan Reed has won through into the 3rd position. This last match is to see how many points Josh Payne or Daryl Pilgrim will finish with. Fair to say that today has been rather dramatic after that incredible climax to Group C. And now the climax that we've had in Group B. Confirmation that Reed in 3rd position has finished on 8 points and -6.
First leg, it's Daryl to throw first.
Collins finishes
Game
4th.
on.
And Gilliland finishes in 5th. So it is 4 combatants from Group A from earlier in the week who will grace the finals.
100.
Reed and Pilgrim, the only 2 from the later groups of the week. But I do have to make a slight amendment to what I said to you in the last match.
140.
I got something wrong. The groups for tomorrow are as such, and I have been corrected by authorities well known to me.
45.
It doesn't dilute the quality of group number 1 though, because it's McEwen, Payne and Stone.
65.
Group 2 is Pilgrim, Dennant and Reed. With all due respect to Group 2, Group 1 makes me drool.
46.
One of those guys is not even going to make the semi-finals. I mean, come on. Josh has already sewn up position number 2 in the table. But it would be nice for him to finish on 10 points. That would mean that he's won more than half of the points on offer to him in this table.
Require 156.
Pilgrim could get 14 from a possible 18. I don't know why, but it feels like an eternity since we last saw Daryl Pilgrim playing Gilliland match number 7, where he won 4-0.
80.
So much has happened since then. It would be remiss of me to say that Pilgrim has played his best tonight. He hasn't.
Joshua requires
He's done just
76.
enough. All of the hard work was done yesterday.
$68.
I presume that Josh
Daryl
knows he's
requires
safe.
70.
There are no guarantees of that. 88 for Pilgrim.
Game
He
shot on the
finds
first leg.
what Josh
Daryl
couldn't
Pilgrim.
find. First leg to Daryl in 17 darts.
Second leg, it's Josh to throw first. Game on.
This was a bit of a game yesterday, or should I say Thursday night. Boy, does that seem like a long time ago. Saturday morning now, 1:15 local time. Thanks for tuning in and staying with us.
180.
We really do value your company wherever you're tuning in from. But this fixture was a great game Thursday night. Both averaging 93. Both doubling at 33%. The finest of margins for 2 points. And it was Pilgrim who won.
180.
I can see about 3 or 4 horses, and I'm going to hold them right now. If you've got a hat on, hang on to it.
77. Josh should require 141.
Come on, Josh. I was hopeful that we were going to get an early morning 9-darter.
93.
We'll have to wait. Wouldn't it be rather nice to get one on finals night? Do you remember back in phase 2 of last year when Richie Burnett
99.
beat
Josh should
Sean
require
McDonald
48.
and he missed double 18 for a 9-darter to win the whole thing? That was rather exciting.
40.
And I distinctly remember sitting in this seat when Richie Bennett missed that double, and there was a collective ooh from everybody in our building. We all wanted it to go in.
134. Joshua
It
require
didn't,
8.
but Richie still won.
Game shot on the
And
second
Josh
leg.
Payne wins that leg
Josh Payne.
in 13 darts. I've never seen anybody so disgusted at winning a 13 dart leg. Maybe just because he wanted the 9 darter.
Third leg, it's Daryl to throw first.
Well, maybe Daryl's going to get one.
180.
3 180s in this game. 2 and a bit legs. The signs are good.
140.
Averages tell you a good story. What a day of sport coming up on a Saturday.
57.
Joshua versus Usyk. Live league finals for week 4. New South Wales Darts Masters final day. Michael van
100.
Gerwen out to Simon Whitlock earlier. Fallon Sherrick through to the quarterfinals. Gerwin Price will take some stopping.
58.
And a small matter of a lot of football. And the NFL season isn't far off either.
105.
Yeah, you sense a little bit of excitement in my voice. That's why I love the winter, you see. I'm not a big fan of the summer.
121. Joshua require 156.
I like the winter when we've got lots of darts action inside. We can keep nice and cosy. And we can watch a bit of NFL as well.
44.
That second dart was a
require
flyer.
85.
Pilgrim is looking to get off to a flyer. Looking for double 9.
Game shot on the
That's
third
what he
leg.
finds.
Daryl Pilgrim.
Really good. 17 darter when he won his first leg. 15 for leg 3.
Fourth leg, it's Josh to throw first. Game on. $41.
If you're an avid greyhound racing fan as well, and you like your racing, keep it Sporty Stuff TV. Check your local listings to see what's coming up. Because it's not just darts
140.
on Sporty Stuff. Plenty of other stuff as well. Isn't it great that you've got so much choice?
100.
And you also have the choice of not missing the finals tomorrow because of technology. If you want to watch the boxing, the football, the athletics,
83.
some form of cricket from around the world, you never know. You don't have to miss the finals tomorrow night. Or should I say tonight? It's always a mistake I make.
85.
I implore you, do not miss the finals, because that Group 1 is the best I've ever seen. Even earlier when I thought Matthew Dennett was in it, it's still the best Group 1 I've seen.
42.
The fact that Payne and McEwen are in it makes me feel dizzy.
96.
Let's go through all of the combatants then and what they've done so far. McEwen has won on a Saturday
43.
night. He won the Champion of Champions and he won Phase 1 this year. Josh Payne has won a couple of weekly titles and he won Phase 4. Gary Stone is making
99.
only his second appearance on a Saturday night, yet to win. Pilgrim has had a couple of near misses on a Saturday night. In a Phase finals and in weekly finals as well.
119.
Matt
Joshua
Dennett hasn't won on
Maguire,
a Saturday.
80.
And Dan Reed has. He won earlier this year in week 1 of Phase 2.
60.
And Pilgrim could lose
Daryl, you require
only
74.
one leg in this match if he stays sharp on the doubles. Double top for him.
54.
But he does exactly what Josh did
Josh, you
in
require
under-delivering
20.
that shot.
No score. Daryl, you require
Nothing
20.
is going to be affected in the table, but you still don't want to miss.
Game shot on the
And
fourth
Pilgrim
leg.
doesn't miss.
Daryl Pilgrim.
He is the main man of Group B. And I said at the start of the week that if Josh wasn't going to win it, Pilgrim would, and he has.
Fifth leg, it's Daryl to throw first.
You would have got a really good price on Pilgrim winning this group as well.
134.
And remember, at this late hour, if you are choosing to have one last little punt, remember to do so in a
57.
responsible manner. Keep your gambling responsible. And stay tuned to Sporty Stuff TV around 8:20 to 8:25
140.
tonight, and I will deliver my predictions with the Sporty Stuff TV crew ahead of
100.
our finals for week 4. I will be back in the commentary box in a few weeks' time.
99.
But between then, you'll have to make do with the likes of Chris Mason, Henry Deacon, and Chris Murphy.
134. Daryl, you require 128.
To finish the group off, to sign off with a victory,
84.
and to win the group by 6 points, which is a bit of a statement considering how tight this group has been. Pilgrim only needs Motown.
85.
But he
Daryl, you
won't go that
require
route.
44.
He'll go for 12 and double 16.
Game shot.
Consider
and
that
the match.
job done by Daryl Pilgrim.
Pilgrim.
It's a double over Josh Payne over the last couple of evenings. A very decent display as well of 92.19. Doubles were excellent. Payne maybe just a little bit comfortable in that game in the knowledge that he was already safe. But he will bring his A game to Saturday night. Believe me. I think everybody's going to. Pilgrim wins the group by 6 points. Payne in second. Reed in third. And it's Collins and Chris Gilliland who are eliminated from this group. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I'm going to go and get some sleep, as most of you are. But all of our international viewers, have a fantastic day, whatever you're doing. I hope you can join us for the finals. 10 p.m. Set your alarms. Stay with us for Saturday night because it won't be something you'll want to miss. I'm the Asset signing up for now. Good night, everybody. See you for finals, 10 p.m.